on the outage, please contact CUC's customer service team at 949-5200 or email service@cuc.ky.
Switch for better when you move your mortgage to Scotiabank. When you make the switch, customize on your terms and become mortgage-free even faster. Leave behind that old mortgage plan and open the door to a low interest rate with no payments for up to 2 months. And guess what? It gets better. You can enjoy 3% cash back of the mortgage amount up to US $5,000. Switch for better and upgrade your mortgage today with Scotiabank. Offer ends May 15, 2022.
Meanwhile, at the Burger King's castle, my people cry for spice. What progress with the spicy alchemy?
Sire, hot news! The new spicy chicken sandwich is finally ready.
Oh, exquisite fire! I must tell the people! Friends, Caymanians, Whopper fans, I bequeath to you the new spicy chicken sandwich!
The king is bringing spicy back. The new spicy chicken sandwich is made with juicy, crispy 100% white meat and features an all-new spicy glaze. Try one today and feel the heat. Only at Burger King.
No matter where you are or where you're going, you deserve to be in control of your freedom. Introducing the new Cayman National online banking and mobile app experience. Enjoy quick and safe access with facial recognition and fingerprint login. Transfer funds and pay bills with ease. Sign up for online banking today and download our new mobile app available in the App Store and Google Play Store.
Connect to the culture.
Turn it up a little bit, yeah.
Star 927.
It is time. What you've been waiting for. And I want you all to think for a second. Take 10 seconds. Just come with me. Think with me. Think about what you consumed today. All the meals that went into your body that is still with you. Think about how many calories went into your body. Was it to your benefit? Was it to your downfall? If you had to chastise yourself, would you give yourself an A+, a pat on the back, or would you hang your head in shame of what you did? Today, we meet a man that said, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something about my size. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to lose the pounds. He underwent gastric bypass surgery at Health City, and he is here with us to tell the tale. And also in the studio, we have the chief of business from Health City. All angles today. In the studio, Grayson McLean and Shamaris Scott. Good day, gentlemen. Good day.
Good afternoon.
Oh, man. Grayson, welcome. Before we take the Health City approach, I want to go back with you to your younger years. Because in the Caribbean, we have and I call it's beyond a love. It's an addiction to rice and peas. And the Spanish love their rice. The Filipinos love their rice. Jamaicans love their rice. And Caymanians are no different. Calories upon calories. You want to just go back with me and tell me about your relationship with food, maybe growing up or before this surgery. What was food like for you?
Basically, growing up, there was no limitation on what I ate, when I ate, how I ate at the age of 15, 16, 17, and 18. So I was burning it off left, right, and center. But when you start to get in your 20s, your metabolism starts to change a little bit as the numbers start to creep up a little higher, like about the age of Shamari, it slows down. So it makes it harder for you to lose that weight. So you got to be more active. And sometimes if you're not paying attention and get really active, your metabolism wins and you're putting on the weight and your metabolism can't burn it off. And that's where I got late night eating, type of food I was eating, starch, the portions, all of this basically put it on. And no matter how much exercising I did, how much gym, cycling, boxing, anything I did, it didn't come off. It just came off for 3 months, actually. And then within the 4th month, it was right back on, doubling up. And I was putting on till I reached 355, 360 pounds, wearing a size 58 pants.
Wow. And it's, you're right in the sense that if you put the calories in and you burn them off, no problem. If you work in construction, if every day you're out there lifting blocks, pushing a wheelbarrow, if you are using the calories that you put in, maybe you can get away with eating the portions and the amount of calories that I see us putting on. But when we go to the buffet, 3/4 or more of the plate. And then Cayman has this relationship with cassava, yam, all of these foods that I think at one point we needed. If we're going to go to work on a ship and be these iron men on wooden ships, and if we're going to wake up in the morning and push a boat over wooden rolls to try to get it into the sea and pull it back up and grab turtles, you need a lot of energy. But what we do, we just sit down, we sit in the car. We don't do anything anymore. So we have this old relationship with food that was taught to us from our parents and grandparents, and now it's showing. It's showing on our stomachs.
But even so, Matt, one thing that we also have to look at, and you would have heard in some of the earlier programs, that even if you're consuming a lot of calories, and even those that are burning, the type of food you're putting into your body will also impact you. That you can look at somebody who is picture perfect from the outside, but as we mentioned, you may not know exactly what's happening on the inside. So I don't want anybody to think that because you're burning the calories, that still means that you can go out there and eat whatever you want in whatever quantities. And because I burn it and I look fit and healthy, I am, there is a chance that you on the inside may not be. And the only reason I also mentioned that is that everything we do at Health City, and you would see that we always talk about preventative care. We talk about, obviously, the health checks and the such. From this scenario, when it comes to bariatric and weight loss surgery, what Health City does, it isn't, anybody can just roll up to Health City and say, you know what, I feel like I need to lose X amount of pounds.
Put me 30 pounds in 30 days.
Put me under the knife.
Challenge.
And let it happen. Weight loss surgery is really to do with persons who have a BMI of over 40 and have tried various scenarios to lose the weight and can't, and it's impacting whether they're close to being diabetic or it's impacting their blood pressure and the such. We at Health City look to see whether or not you're the right candidate for weight loss surgery. We have the dietitian that will make the analysis. We have our psychologist that's a part of it. It's a full team that actually have to agree that you are a candidate that has the right mindset and has taken the right steps towards the weight loss surgery that will go through with the full thing to give us the best probability of success afterwards. And the reason why Grayson is a testament to this, it's 5 years later, and because mentally he made the decision to make the change, this weight loss surgery was really the jump start that helped him to change his life to be where he is right now. So I don't want people to think that it's something that you can just come to Health City and we'll do it. You have to meet the right criteria to be eligible, but even if you're eligible, you then have to take the steps that a integrated group of physicians and the dietitian will say, yes, you can take that next step towards the
It's good to know that you have the option in the case that like Grayson said, so many things he tried, but for whatever reason it just wouldn't stick. And what you said about judging people from the front page,
yes.
People could be bulimic, anorexic. You don't know what is going on with their relationship with food. Grayson, before you did the surgery, did you know? I mean, did you have any education about what you should have been doing? You said you were trying exercise, and if you went to a personal trainer and they took you on, I mean, how can they fail? How is it that I put you in the gym and I give you salad to eat, but you don't? What were you cheating at night?
No, actually, I was not. And one of the personal trainers in the boxing gym was my cousin and another good friend of mine. And for 3 months, I stayed on it, monitored it, what I ate, everything else, and my intake that they did. And we were doing great in the first 3 months. But in the 4th month, that's when they start questioning, if I had been cheating. I'm like, no, I'm still eating the same
Wow.
thing. I'm very comfortable into the zone I'm into. I don't understand what's happening. So they would double the workload on me, and it started getting strenuous on the heart. Now, this goes to basically what Shamari says. Outside, I was starting to lose it and look good, but it was my heart couldn't hold the pressure of what was happening. So when it came around to me finally making this decision and getting to them, when they did all of this, we found out I was having heart issue. Cholesterol was high. I was on the verge of becoming a diabetic. Everything was borderline for me. And no matter how much I had been exercising, and on top of that, your sleep ethics, that was a big issue as well, which I didn't know for all these years. And then all of a sudden, you know, when I did the whole testing through Health City to get their opinion and see what they said, they found out a lot of stuff that was wrong. And I was like, okay, I ride a bicycle, I box, I play softball. I don't feel the way I think you're telling me I'm supposed. They're like, you don't, but your body is feeling it and you're just not seeing it.
We all have this idea of normal.
Yeah.
I feel fine. I feel normal because but for somebody who is technically obese, maybe they're over 300 pounds, they're normal. And it kind of boggles my mind, but let's say that you're over 300 pounds. That means that when you're going from your dining room table to the bathroom, you're taking 300 pounds with you. You're picking up this weight, walking across the room with it. It must be fatiguing on the heart. Your muscles, your calf muscles, have to get bigger to help you to take on the weight. So it's very complex what's going on in the body.
At your heaviest, how much did you weigh, Grayson?
I was 360 pounds at my heaviest with the size 58 pounds.
So okay, you hit that. You went on the scale. So there's something that happened in you that said, you know what, I am going to take control of my life. I am going to go to the next step. Whatever the case, if the gym didn't work, what do you think people are struggling with mentally? Because there are many candidates out there that are probably struggling with, do I do it? There's this cost involved, there's complications, this is surgery. What pushed you over the edge to walk into Health City?
Believe it or not, I'll ever get ragged on for this, but my daughter coming home from school crying, saying that kids were making fun of me due to my size, really pushed me. And in walking through the hospital, believe it or not, I was approached by our doctor, and he says, have you ever thought about it?
Wow.
And he says, get some paperwork, do a research, check on it. When you're ready, come and sit with me and talk with me. I did so. And he said, all right, let's go through. Around that time as well, I was getting denied for insurance because of my size and my height. They said I was overweight, so they didn't want to insure me. So all of this was a factor of saying, dude, it's time for you to figure the exercise isn't working. And after doing the research, checking on it, talking with my doctor at that time, and then he says, let's get it rolling. And we started doing so. And after finishing it, I was more than 100% sure. Now, that was then, 100% then. You ask me today, sitting in front of you, I'm about 500% sure I made the right decision.
You do it again.
I will do it
again and again. You know what is sad is that I know I think we all know Grayson. Just seeing him around, you have a very recognizable face. But when I saw you, if you were 300 odd pounds, you wouldn't strike me as somebody who needed surgery. You know, it's so normal to be overweight in our society. It's so normal. And if you fly to the States, I mean, the whole Western side of the world, and to be honest, it's kind of sad because they've hijacked our brains. They're using sugar and fatty foods, things with lots of calories, and our body is so weak. Our DNA says, hey, you can get a lot of energy from this. Oh my gosh, the signals in your brain when you eat a French fry. Say, man, you better get back down. Suppose you never get a fry again. You better eat all of them. and your body is against you, and it's real sad. But when you got into the hospital now, what happens in surgery? What is involved when you say I'm going to do gastric bypass?
Well, as Shamara was telling you, you got to go through a whole procedure with the doctors and all of them. They ran me through stress tests, checked my sleep apnea, they checked my heart, the cholesterol, the full works. It went through everything. I mean, it was a fine toothpick. That by the time they're done, there was nothing of my medical history that was not uncovered by Health City. And that's when they said, okay, you are a candidate for this situation, and we just got to get you through and now get you rolling. And that's where we proceeded, got it through insurance, and then just proceeded with my operation. And like I said, I walked in on November 9th, and about 4 days later, I was walking out, and I had already could see the difference in 4 days. And the clothes that I went in with was really kind of slack on me on that time. So I started to shop around for clothes, and I think my first set of clothes I bought went from 58 to 50, and then 48, 46, 42. And I kept telling the doctor, oh, we need to talk because this weight is going off and I can't keep up with buying these clothes. So I'm coming to your house to shop through your clothes. And he says, you soon balance out. So for the last 2 years, I've been a size 38. And this week, I officially went into a size 36 pounds.
Wow.
So,
you have a goal? What does that mean now?
Honestly,
You're just
I
gonna keep on
want
dropping
to
weight?
balance my weight, 250. But it gets pretty scary, and the nutrition made it clear that back then, when I was 350, my fat was part of my muscle. Now that I'm there, I'm trying to bench press 100 pounds. And so my muscle is actually here now, trying to work its way back out. So there's no fat. So I'm actually using it. So I'm getting to 100. So upper part is looking good. There's, the legs are looking good on the bike. There's 1-2 other parts I'm working on. But that is eventually going to put back and figure the numbers up. But I got to be careful because it panics me when I see my number going up, that I am like, okay, I'm putting on weight. But it's actually muscles that is being rebuilt now in my body, because literally I went down with no muscle. All my muscle was fat.
Shamari, your doctors, I assume, are some of the best in the business. And like Grayson said, check after check after check. But we're going into a territory of changing a human being. God made you perfect. Well, you're and correct me where I go wrong, but you're taking the stomach and you're
so they're different. They're different in this procedure. Yes. So this is why you need to come to see our physicians, because there are various procedures now that can be done. Right. You have the gastric sleeve. You have the gastric bypass. You have the gastric balloon, which is a procedure that minimally invasive. They put a balloon, pump it up in the stomach, so it only leaves a certain space. That for a few months, you train your stomach to shrink, and you train yourself to be able to have the portion control that is needed. And then they take the balloon out after the 3 months, and you're able to control your eating moving forward. So sometimes there are those type of solutions as well, right? Right now there is a overstitch procedure, which is minimally invasive, and it's done through an endoscope. And we'll actually have Dr. Sunil come on one day to explain exactly how that's done. But it's minimally invasive. The actual risks that you would have typically from any major surgery is much reduced, and you're able to get some of the same benefits that you would get from the type of procedure that Grayson would have had. So as time progresses, technology increases, you always get better and better in regards to these areas. The reason when we're looking at these weight loss surgery is when you have comorbidities, such as you're either pre-diabetic or you are diabetic, you have respiratory disorders, you have all of these other issues. There comes a point in time that if you don't deal with the weight now, waiting could be catastrophic. So this isn't, a lot of times previously people would think of this as a cosmetic type of surgery. And that's why there are certain places, not saying Cayman, that, oh, I want to lose weight, I want this procedure. And you go and they do the procedure, and you'll see, either they're not going to get the best results, or because they haven't gone through the whole process, it's about the lifestyle change, and they didn't understand the healthy eating part. They didn't understand the lifestyle change part in order to ensure that the healthier version of you continues, like Grayson to year 5 where he's still going down pant sizes, and even though his weight's increasing, it's increasing based on his muscle mass versus the fat as well. So just want to make sure that we put out there that there are various things that can occur, but doctors always look at you as the person. And even if you meet every indication, so I was talking about BMI being over 40, what that typically means, if you look at the ideal weight, you can Google it, your height, your weight, and understand what the ideal weight is for that.
You
size.
told me I was obese.
Right?
I went into
I
your,
did not tell you that.
I
but-
went into your executive health check,
Yeah.
and the man said you're overweight, and I said no because I need to gain. I want.
He might have said overweight. I'm sure he didn't tell you you were obese.
He said that we were back and forth because
Yeah.
in my mind,
Yes.
and I'm sure everybody can agree, in their mind they have this ideal version of themselves.
Correct.
And whatever that means to some people say I need to cut 20.
Yeah.
Some people say I need to gain 20.
Yeah.
But your doctor, okay, he
Yes.
told me that. So
it's 100 pounds overweight is typically when you would hit the chronically obese signals that would state that if you have tried X, Y, and Z and you haven't reduced the weight, and now you're starting to have other issues, you may be a candidate for one of these types of procedures. However, even being a candidate doesn't mean you will get the procedure, because if from the psychological perspective, and they give you a little test period to see if you're actually going to keep to a certain diet, and if you're not able to keep, they won't go through with the procedure. So there have been many people that have been turned down just because they aren't ready for that change.
The mental stability that you have, Grayson, and the tenacity that you have, you should be given a pat on the back, because most people, we're all in fads. Everybody is willing to swipe their credit card for anything that will say guaranteed weight loss, 15 days, 15 pounds, and we're all going in cycles. So you managed to keep it off. So what trick do you have? Why do you think that you have been you have a competitive edge with sticking to diet, sticking to exercise? You're saying that you're in the gym. What do you think that we are failing at if we can't stick with a diet and exercise plan?
Well, basically for me, it's knowing where I go. Believe it or not, I keep one pants in my closet that if I start to think about, hey, I feel like doing a couple of cheat days, I have my one cheat day or one cheat day out of the week. But when I start to think about what I want to cheat with, I pull out my pants and I look at it and goes, just remember this.
Yeah.
When you're cheating over and over, I have my incentive. I now feel completely different. I feel like I'm 18 again with a second lease on life. And I get to feel like I'm going to be around to see my daughter get married and, live life a little bit longer than where I was before. Because after hearing the things, I was trying to figure out, how was I surviving? How did I make it through till that point? And this to me felt like God just gave me a second chance by being right in the right place at the right time, which is right there in Health City with the doctors and them who I work with, but also look at me and saw something that I wasn't seeing for myself. And that's what got me going. So I would say to anyone, if it is something you're trying to do, just use an incentive. Find an incentive that For me, it's family. That's my incentive. I want to be around with my family. So I'm going to be doing this.
Push through the signal. That is the difference, is that some people have the ability to push through that signal. Some people have that problem with alcohol. The brain says, hey, I've had enough, and somebody else just goes a little harder. Some people have it with fitness. Their body is fatigued, but their brain says, "Now man, go hard." You could be addicted to anything. But when you sit down at a restaurant and you get the portions that we give, what happens? You take out every night. So, pack this up for me.
Believe it or not, some of the amazingly that you said that, because most restaurants, the portion that you get is about the equivalent to what I can eat. So it isn't too bad. Now, as I said to Shamari, first time since my operation, I did a brunch, and it was shocking to see where my body got to at that point. I had to stop and just take a walk outside, walk around, breathe, and then come back, sit down.